morning. What's going on, friends? Welcome back to another video. We are going to the pumpkin patch today, and I wanted to take you guys along with us just to hang out. I think it's important that you guys get to know me and my family a little more, especially following us along this journey, and we've been really looking forward to getting out and doing something fun. So going to the pumpkin patch is going to be like a little break, a little treat for us toward the end of the month. So I just woke up and fed the dogs, and I'm about to let them out, probably get some coffee in my system, get ready, and then head out. The one that we're going to is about 30 to 45 minutes away, so we have a little bit of a drive, and then we're gonna try to spend probably a few hours there today. And it is Sunday, so I'm hoping that it will be a little bit empty. I know it's not gonna be empty, but less crowded than it usually will be. I know a lot of people are at church right now and we'll be watching football in a little bit, so I'm crossing my fingers that this was the right day to pick. Here in Texas, it is chilly this morning, so that is also something a little new for us. So I'm excited to be able to go out and enjoy being outside, because I think I talked to you guys about this before. I'm not an outside person. I do not like being outside unless it's like perfect weather. I don't like it when it's scorching hot or when I'm freezing cold and can't like really warm up. So fall is my favorite time of year, and I'm excited to go have some yummy food and do like a little hayride and see what else they have. So like I said, I figured I'd take you guys along so you can kind of have more of a vlog style get to know me type of thing, aside from just homeschooling. This light on my little vent thing above my oven has a short, so sorry, I know that's super distracting. I'm over here like trying to block it out myself. So yeah, like I said, I just wanted to take you guys along to have kind of a casual, just chill vlog, get to know me. I hope that you enjoyed this. So I will catch up with you probably after I get dressed. Okay, I'm wearing a Walmart sweater, and you can hear the vacuum. I got this in a large. I probably should have gotten it in a medium because it's like super oversized. So then for tucking it in, it doesn't really work as well as I wanted it to, but it's still comfy to wear like with leggings. And I think that's what I was thinking when I got it in a large, but it's just a little like leopard, and it has like texture for the leopard. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of curl my hair a little bit, and I'm wearing my high-waisted jeans with the little holy holes in them. And then I still have my house shoes on right now, but I'm gonna wear my Converse, I think, because I don't have any like cute black shoes or brown shoes. So we're just gonna rock the Converse to walk around the pumpkin patch in. I am just not feeling my hair today, but we're just gonna let it do this thing and have a good time. So we're about to head out, and then hopefully get some goodies when we get there.
Okay, we just left the pumpkin patch, and what used to be our best kept secret has now turned into like the Metroplex attraction, because there were a lot more things to do than we were used to seeing in the past few years, but that has also brought a lot of extra traffic, and I would say it probably like tripled in the amount of people. So it was still fun, great weather, but definitely more crowded than what we've had the last few years, but we still had fun, enjoyed ourselves, got some funnel cakes and lemonade and everything else that they had, which was like delicious. So worth it for our weekend outing, but we probably are going to search for a new pumpkin patch with less publicity for next year. What's going on? It is Monday, so happy Monday. Hope your week is off to a great start so far. I am picking up our groceries. After being out yesterday, my sinuses are shooting me, so please excuse my voice. Today I just need to get like some housework type of stuff done. I need to do all of the laundry. I usually do that over the weekends, but I didn't want to. I washed everything, but it just needs to be like folded and put away and hung up and all that jazz as usual. So that's what I will be doing today. I have an Amazon box that I need to go return again, and I think that's it. Weird story. On Saturday, we tried to go and return this Amazon box, and there's only like 3 UPS stores like within 15 to 20 minutes of us. There's only 3 of them that Amazon said I could return that box at. And we tried to go to one of them and like planned our errands on that side of town and everything. Then we get over there and like they're pulling all this stuff out of the store like they are closing. So there are like shelves and registers and like extra boxes and stuff like all on the sidewalk of the shopping center. And then like as soon as my husband stepped out of the car, there was like another man in the parking lot who had just gone in, and he was like, yeah, they're closed, like for good. So that kind of derailed my plan, and now I gotta go somewhere else. Okay, it is Tuesday night. We just got back from dinner with my parents, our parents. We went and ate our usual Mexican food for the week. So we went to Chewy's this week, had a little margarita and caught up and all of that jazz. And then I told you guys that I wanted this video to be like a little bit more my life and like kind of getting to know me, not just in the homeschool way, but what I do from day to day, week to week, and all that jazz. So each week I have little projects, I guess that you could call them, that I do like on the Cricut to have a little bit of income and all of that. So I'll insert just a little bit of footage from doing those type of things. So I had some stuff for my mom that I needed to give to her. So we met for dinner and I was able to give her stuff and then, just visit for a little while. So that's something that we all kind of have started to look forward to for the week and kind of have a weekly little get together and have dinner and all that. So that's been really nice. So it is like 8 o'clock right now, and we've done quite a bit around the house this week so far. So I think that this is going to just be a very chill night. I'm gonna let one of my dogs in, hold on. So it's been a pretty chill week. It was kind of more like a tie up loose ends, get all the housework done type of day, I guess. The past 2 days have kind of been like that. And so I think tomorrow is going to be more of a work day for me. So I'm planning to bring you guys along as I do that, so you can kind of get a feel for what I do, maybe like get some inspiration if you're looking for ways to generate income from home or while you're homeschooling, if that's something that you are worried about or thinking of. I'm going to be sharing kind of how I balance the two and like keep a schedule for myself, even though I'm not employed by someone else, if that makes sense. So that's my plan for tomorrow. Yesterday, you didn't miss much. I got the groceries, I did the laundry, and then I ended up cooking lunch and dinner. So like aside from that, nothing much happened yesterday. It was more like housework type of stuff. So yeah, I don't plan to do anything else for tonight. I'm kind of tired from the last 2 days, and like today was a rough mental day for me. I don't know if that is something that kind of speaks to you, and like if that does, then definitely tell me so that I can share more of like my journey with my mental health and all of that stuff. Oh, the dogs are playing. Because I enjoy like listening to that type of stuff, but if that's not really what you guys are interested in, then I won't really talk about it like too much or whatever. But I do think like it's a struggle for people staying at home, or like always being at home, or homeschooling and not really having like I guess like personal endeavors and tasks to do as you may do like traditionally, versus what your actual routine and lifestyle is when you're homeschooling and working from home. Lynx and Luna, stop. So I do think that it's important for us to talk about our mental health and to help each other, support each other in that way too, not just sharing like what we do with our kids, but also how do you stay afloat, and like what things are beneficial to you for keeping positive and upbeat and feeling like you are, I don't know, and like you are not slipping through the cracks of being at home all the time or having to make all the decisions for everyone. Because I know for me, that's something that definitely kind of like catches up to me every now and then, and I just start to feel kind of overwhelmed. So some days are like that, and like I feel like taking just a downtime is definitely necessary. I know I feel like self-care and calling it that is a little bit played out at this point, because like what does that truly mean, or what does that look like if you're not someone who is used to doing those things and actually paying attention to those? So I find myself in that boat a lot, and I'm like, yeah, self-care, but what? And sometimes that may just be blaring your music and going to take a drive by yourself, or making your favorite meal for dinner, or just taking some downtime. And sometimes you just got to do that. So that's what tonight's going to be like for me, and probably tomorrow, most of tomorrow too, other than getting like my work stuff done. So I will catch up with you guys then. Okay, I told you guys that I was going to share like my work schedule type of like plan of action each week. And on Wednesday, as I was like doing some stuff on my phone, I was sitting in the living room, and all of a sudden we just hear like tires screeching, and we have like a fairly busy street behind our house, like at the back of our yard on the other side of the fence. And I had the blinds open and everything, or the curtains open to our back door. We hear tires screech, and then all of a sudden a car crashed through our fence and was in our backyard. So there had been an accident, and the guy lost control, and he came through our neighbor's fence and then through the dividing fence to our neighbor's house. And so that completely derailed our afternoon. And so we had to deal with them, getting the police reports, getting the car out of the yard, getting everyone's information. Luckily, everyone was fine. We had just let our dogs in from being outside, so luckily they had just missed that. But yeah, it has kind of been a whirlwind of a week as far as trying to get all of that stuff handled, and getting the insurance to the person who was at fault, getting their insurance to come and like do the estimate for the fence and all of that stuff, and make sure that everything was taken care of and all that jazz. So it was a student driver who was at fault, so that poor girl was like just very flustered and in shock, of course. So that was a lot of just chaos in the afternoon. So I won't really be sharing that, but if that's something that you were looking forward to and kind of wanting to know my plan of attack with, then definitely let me know so that I can do like a separate video, because I think that it would be worth it. I'm just not gonna like rush around and try to squeeze that into this video, but I did want to do a little bit of a Q&A. So if you're not following me on Instagram, I shared all of that like as it happened. So that's more like of a real time keeping up with us and all the happenings and stuff in our life. So if you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead and do that, and I'll leave the information right here, and it's also in the description box as well. But I did leave a Q&A open for over the weekend because like I said, wanted to share just a little bit more like behind the scenes, kind of a get to know me outside of just our homeschooling stuff. So I have my little list here. And the first one that I'm going to talk about is why did you leave teaching in a school? So I have a video that I talked about like why I chose to homeschool, and then I talked like briefly about my philosophy and like outlook as a teacher and why I chose to homeschool my own child. So if you're interested in that discussion on like why I left home or why I left the classroom, I would definitely go watch that, and I will leave it up here in the corner for you if you haven't seen that already. But as far as like the personal decision to leave, or I guess more like the professional / career side of it, the school that I was teaching at had many just like disorganization issues. There was not a lot of support from administration, and therefore I was taking on a lot of responsibility, not only like for myself and for my students in my classroom. It just like really started eating at my mental health. I had like severe anxiety. I would almost be like on the verge of tears every day driving to school because I was just like so unhappy. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to have to leave my son at daycare. And so like right toward the end of teaching at a school in a classroom, my son was like 3. So the following year he would have been going into preschool. And so we decided to pull him out of school. And this was before my husband and I were married. So I was a single mom. There was just a lot on my plate. I had just recently purchased my house. And it seemed like I was just drowning. And so the personal side of like I said, my mental health and like having to parent and feeling like I wasn't getting a lot of time with my own child and spending most of my hours every day with other people's kids. I loved my students and I loved teaching, but I was just very unhappy and the balance was very off. So at the time, I decided to leave teaching, and I was working for my husband's family business. So we decided that we were going to do that. I pulled my son out of daycare, and we just kind of split the responsibilities of work and watching him. And so we found our balance there, and it ended up being the best decision for all of us. And then when my son was 4, he went to school, but only like 3 days a week. So it was like pre-K. So he went 3 days a week, and it was a great way for us to not have to pay as much in daycare fees, still let him like have some playtime and like be around other kids, as well as give us a little bit of a break since we were balancing like a lot of things on our plate between my husband and I. So that all just kind of happened like all at once. And then that is really what tipped the scale for me in allowing myself to say like, I can homeschool. Like we're basically doing that like part-time right now. And so a lot of steps and different events had to take place in order to solidify my homeschooling decision, but it all like aligned perfectly and ended up working out great. Can you guys see my little cat over here? She loves that like the animals aren't really allowed in this room, and when my husband comes in here to work out, she's always crying for him to let her in. And so she feels like she's like exclusive. She gets to come in here because she's definitely the best behaved. And while we're on that topic, I'll go ahead and answer another question, which is how many animals do you have? So you guys probably see that I like put little clips of our animals in my videos and stuff like that, but I've never really talked about this. And when people hear we have 6 animals, so when people hear that, they're like, you what? And so we have 3 cats and 3 dogs. So when my
before my husband and I were together, he had 2 cats because he traveled for work. And those are, you know, cats are very easy to leave on their own for a few days. You don't have to have like a sitter or something. They're very independent and self-sufficient for the most part. And so he had 2 cats and they're sisters. So we have those 2. And then when I first moved here to my house, like I was telling you guys, I was a single mom. So I got a dog. And so we just had the 3 girls. And then along the way, we have taken in another dog, another cat, and then one day we were on our way to lunch and it was raining and we saw this cute little puppy. She was in the middle of the street on like a pretty busy street, like around our office at the time. And so we decided that we were gonna pull over and pick her up because I thought that she belonged to one of the houses that was right next to where she was. So I went and like knocked on the door, I'm like holding this wet dog. No one claimed her. So we went like months trying to figure out who she belonged to, calling like the shelters and putting like signs up and all that stuff. No one ended up claiming her. So now we have her, and so she's our 6th one, and she ended up being the biggest one, but the most well-behaved. So we have 3 and 3, and so we always talk about having 7 kids because they are all like within 1 year of each other. So the 2 cats and my son are like the same age, and then it's like 1 year apart from there. So we basically have 7 little children. Only 6 of them don't necessarily talk, at least not in words, but yeah, they all still are very high maintenance and take a lot of effort and energy. But I wouldn't have it any other way. My husband and I both just love animals, so although they give us a lot of stress, we wouldn't trade it for anything because we just love them so much. So 6 animals, and yes, it is a pain. But even like as a kid, I loved getting a text message. Even as a kid, like I loved animals. I've always loved dogs. I've never had cats before until my husband and I got together, but I love them now too. And I love that they are more independent and that they will leave you alone eventually. Our dogs, no, they want to be like right here all the time, seeing what you're doing, want you to pet them, feed them your food, all that stuff. So I would definitely choose cats if I could do it again. All right, the next question, let's see. I get bored at home all the time. How can I break up the repetitiveness? So I think that's more like from a homeschooling standpoint, and I hear you. And that's a lot of why you guys see me like in the car a lot of the time, because that is how I get like out of the mental hamster wheel that is being at home. Because when you're at home, there's always something to do, there's always a need to be met, there's always a snack to be made, there's always chores, all of those things. So just by getting out, if it's to the park or the grocery store or to run some errands, or to, you know, pick up lunch or whatever it may be, if I can get out of the house and just get like a little bit of a timeout, that works wonders for my brain sometimes. Other than that, I would definitely say to get like involved in a group, you know, have like a group that you go and do like a park meetup with, or, you know, just something that's like still routine, easy to follow. You know that it's going to come up. You know that that's like a scheduled day that you can get out of the house and go do something just a little different, and it helps so much. Okay, do you plan to homeschool until your son graduates? I'm nervous to teach that long. I hear you. I do think that it's a little bit intimidating to be looking so far ahead and thinking about what's going to come like in the future as far as homeschooling goes. And I definitely think it is based on your child and based on your like willingness, your teamwork, how well things are flowing. And if it does seem like there's a struggle, then that's a good reason to switch things up. And if homeschooling isn't the answer long term, then that's perfectly fine. And I think by having that mindset and like that outlook, it doesn't put so much pressure on you to commit to doing something that's long term or like further down the road for you. If it's just for a year, if it's just for a season, and even if it does end up being until they graduate high school, awesome, great for you. And I think that's kind of the approach that I have. If it is something that we like start to find some struggle with, or like if it becomes unrealistic for what's happening like in our family, then yeah, we would probably seek something different, even if it was like an online program that's not homeschooling or not like exactly what we're doing right now. So as of now, I would say yes, that is my plan. But if there are challenges and obstacles along the way, I'm not going to push back. I'm just gonna try to go with the flow. Okay. What age did you start? I have a 3-year-old that would be enrolling in pre-K next year. So I kind of covered this just a little while ago when I was talking about like leaving teaching and all that. So I would say like we started in like when my son was 4. So like he went to daycare and like preschool up until that point, but then at home we were still reinforcing those things. And just like when you're playing and like teaching your kids like, you know, basic behaviors and topics and like singing the ABCs and stuff like that, they're still learning. They are still getting those lessons, even if it's not like explicit teaching. So keep that in mind too. You are always teaching and guiding your kids, even if you don't feel like there is a like sit down lesson in what our mindset might be of teaching or of homeschooling. So I would say that you've been doing it since they were alive, and don't let it deter you. If you're feeling like you need to start at a certain point, it should just be natural and feel natural because you've already been doing that. So for us, it was like, I would say 4 years old, because he technically would have started like kindergarten at 5, or because his birthday is late, maybe even 6. So if you want to do it at 3, if your kid is ready for that, then do it. That is all that I have for you guys today. So let's go ahead and continue the video. Alrighty, we're getting ready to finish up our BATS activity. So this is a page that I made. Well, both of these are, but this is the one that I think I showed a clip of myself making this on Canva. And then this was the second one. So we're gonna do like some sight word practice with this stuff, and then writing and a little comprehension check all together. And then we'll be done with BATS. And then my son has asked if we can do sharks next. So our next unit is going to be about sharks, and he already has a book that he found on his iPad that goes along with sharks. So we're just going to roll with it and dive deeper into one of his interests and just tie in all of our learning targets and whatever else comes along with that next unit. So you guys will probably see that in my next like homeschooling based video if I'm talking about like planning or anything. So if you're interested in that, definitely let me know so I can be sure to cover all of those bases and talk about whatever you would need help in, or just want to kind of know how we do over here. Okay, my son and I just got done making these adorable little pumpkin Rice Krispies. Let me pick one that doesn't just have a glob of stuff on it, even though those are the cute ones. So we're gonna eat those. That was a nice little afternoon activity for us to do. It's Friday, so we're going to my brother's football game tonight. So we're just doing some stuff to waste a little bit of time until it's time for us to leave. And then we don't have anything going on this weekend, so I'll probably just end up wrapping up this video either tonight or tomorrow. It has been a very eventful week for us, as you guys have seen, so I'm probably just gonna cut it a little bit short this time. Yes.